My lab studies muscle physiology and biomechanics. I'm interested in animal locomotion, so how animals move. In case that link's not clear, I like to see how the movements that we can measure and collect of animal movements, how we can relate that back to their muscles and how their muscle mechanics work and their muscle physiology works. My identity as a scientist really varies, with the audience I'm talking to. I definitely consider myself a comparative biomechanist, so comparing the biomechanics of animals doing different things. That's really cool to me. Muscle physiologist is another one, another hat I wear if I'm talking to someone that studies muscle. But an encompassing kind of term I've heard that I like and I've started to subscribe to is integrative physiologist. So it's basically just integrating multiple levels of organization involved with animals moving. So that just means basically studying something at the whole body level, then studying it at a deeper level like the muscle level, and then studying it at a even smaller level than that, molecular level or something like that, and just integrating all those levels for one integrated movement. The kind of locomotion I'm interested for graduate school and currently is cyclical locomotion, so things like walking and running, things that need a rhythm and coordinated movement to be able to pull off. What I'm studying for grad school specifically is how the alligators walk and how they use their limb muscles to walk. I think that's really interesting because a lot of people have really looked at these really highly derived animal species that are really efficient and really good at walking and running. But we've all seen those videos of alligators, walking across golf courses and those random places that those videos show them walking. And they have a really distinct walk. And it's been studied, but not to the level of muscle, not in that, using that integrative approach. So that's kind of why that's my system, because we could learn how other extinct animals may have walked, or we could understand how muscle evolved to kind of help with locomotion tasks like walking and running. That stuff we kind of take for granted because all we know about it is based on animals that do that very well. And alligators, if you look at them, they don't walk very well. That has to have some effect on their muscles. So that's what I'm looking at. I love my dissertation work because I get to do work across those levels I was talking about. For example, a dissertation, at least in our department, is typically 3 chapters, maybe on average. So my first chapter is me walking the alligators in front of high-speed cameras and on top of a force plate. And those are common methods in biomechanics, but using them on alligators is just super cool. And that's a fun project to do, but it definitely takes a lot of patience. Another project that I'm currently working on is the muscle surgeries to measure the properties of their limb muscles. And those are more specialized, and only those who study kind of muscle physiology will know those kind of experiments. But they're super cool. They happen here. So all you're seeing is the oxygen tanks that we need to give the animal during the surgery. We need to keep the animal alive during those surgeries, so we need to know about the physiology of the animal to be able to do that. So that's a really cool component to me. I think learning anesthesia techniques and surgical techniques is really fun, and I get to measure these muscles in the alligators while they're alive, and that's just super cool to me. We implant a nerve cuff on their nerves and we shock them and their muscles contract, and we can measure that, and I just think that's the coolest. That's just super cool. That's it. Yeah, I get that question a lot, what are the applications of walking alligators and studying their muscles? And there's no like simple answer. You know, I've been here a while thinking about the answer to that question, and the answer is that it's not just one answer. There's a lot of reasons why alligators are really interesting in these cases. Their body plan and their posture, the way they walk, we assume affects muscle function in some way, but there's a big difference between assuming and knowing with tests, like with data. So those kind of hypotheses are just kind of low-hanging fruit. No one's really taken the time to study alligators in this detail and their biomechanics in this detail, because it's difficult. It's really complex and three-dimensional, and people haven't bothered to, but I have, and it's because I'm interested in how animals evolve to walk and how they evolve to use their muscles efficiently. I think that's a really interesting question to me.